Hey all, Toves here, back with another house flipper video. So we are back at the House in Thicket, and a few things I've done since the last episode. You'll have seen that little kind of stop motion-y thing at the beginning. So some changes have been done inside, but I've also done bits and pieces on the outside. Nothing really major yet. I think I put this driveway down. Yeah, I put this driveway down in the garage episode. Just been doing a little kind of pathway here, a little flower bed there, decorated the outside. I've got this weird little glitch though. I don't know if any of you guys have seen this glitch, but yeah, I get this kind of texture glitch. You see where this wooden pillar hits the top there, it just kind of fuzzes out, which is a little annoying. And I've also noticed that, I'm not sure if this always happens, but I can't get to that grass there. Look, if as I move away, you get this texture of grass, long grass through the fence. But as I go over towards it, it disappears. And then if I actually get the brush cutter out, it doesn't show on the heat map up there either. And it won't go. Even that bit that I can actually see won't disappear. So that's a little bit annoying, because yeah, the perfectionist in me. It means I'm going to have to cover that up, I think. Probably put something along that whole fence because it's all the way down that fence. I'm not going to obsess too much over the garden in this one because I might do a bit. I think I'm going to do a couple of areas, but it's going to be a simple garden. I actually like the trees in this one. So I'm going to keep the trees. I quite often just remove all the trees. So let's have a little look here where we are. So you'll have seen our helpful whistling decorator popped in and decorated this hallway. One little quick thing that you may or may not have, if you're eagle-eyed, you may or may not have spotted that I did this in that little animation. I can show you the technique that I used to do this. So let's go. Let's say this isn't going to be right, but because I sort of thought that actually looks quite good as like a double set of drawers, and if you didn't know it was two separate things, it kind of looks like it's one. But you obviously can't do that if you see me trying to put a second one on top of there. So something that has changed very recently. In fact, let's just put a second one down because we'll lose it otherwise. We'll lose it in the menu. So this is something that works if you've got Garden Flipper, but unfortunately you won't have this if you're a console player or don't have the DLC. Is that something has changed very recently, and I think this is an unannounced change. I don't remember seeing anywhere in the patch notes that you could do this. This is one of the exterior paving slabs I think this actually might be a side effect of the fact that they changed something. They said that they changed something recently about being able to bring... There was something, I thought it was a bug fix about pathing into the garage. I think the point of it was that you could bring your garage path, like surface, right into the garage. I'm not going to change this because I did this before that patch. But I think this might be the side effect of that, is that they've just gone, okay, we'll just let them use all of these paving slabs inside. So the result of this, and I haven't really explored this yet, but I have tried it a little bit. So in theory, you can now use these slabs for internal flooring. Now it's going to be a bit awkward in this room because I've just noticed I've got a bit of carpet that shouldn't be there. Because I've got, it's not going to be quite a perfect shape here, but I'll give you the idea. So you can see that I could, in theory, I could pave the internal structure out, or the internal floor out, and obviously it doesn't look great with that one, but if I go with, for example, the these, see, this doesn't look too bad. This is an internal floor structure. I think it's going to be a little bit awkward, and it's probably going to be something you have to do, where you have to really plan this before you put the internal walls in. Like if you do what I do quite often and rip all the internal walls out, that you'll have to plan around this, because I believe what we'll see is that I can't. So that as you can imagine there, I can floor the rest of that out. But what I won't be able to do is, you see, it won't let me put a wall on top of that. So, and I guess that is because the height. I guess it's because the height is now too high, and it thinks it's not putting that wall on top of that object as it does with a normal floor. It doesn't consider that to be floor, so it won't work in the same way. So you will have to, if you're trying to use that method, really kind of be considerate to planning your walls around the floor. I hope that makes sense. But what the long and the short, I've just gone a long way around to explain this, but what it does also mean, what sort of occurred to me, is that you can, so let's just use this, you can actually you can use the stack method inside now. So, and we still have, because there's no, I don't really understand why this is, but in some objects there's no gravity. There's no concept of things dropping. You've seen before that I've done stuff where I've that's how you get the soap onto the sink, is you put a shelf up and you drop you put the soap on the shelf, you take the shelf away and the thing will drop. That isn't always the case in the game. In some cases, as you'll see in a second, that things don't drop off of all surfaces. So what I've did, I think this will work with this. This is exactly the way that I did this. Is that I get so I stack up some paving slabs like that, and then I put this. So I've basically got that up to the height of where I know there's another one, and then I think this is. I'm not explaining this very well, but hopefully this will make sense if you just see me doing it. I take that one away. That one hasn't dropped, and now I can just put that one on top of it. So that's not a great example, because that does just look a bit like two bedside tables on top of each other, but I think that works. And there will be a bunch of objects that will work in that same way. And as you can see, once you've got that one kind of fixed in its floating world, it will let me put stuff on top of that. So but yeah, it's really odd. It's really odd the way that they've got. I think it must be to do with, I don't know. Furniture is treated some way differently, because if I put that, pretty sure if I put that pot on top of that and then remove that table, that pot would drop. But yeah, the cupboard doesn't. Anyway, so that's how I did that. Long way round of explaining that. But I don't think a lot of people have realised the fact that this has changed. because I didn't really talk about it. So yeah, so I've used these. I went with a bit brighter. I sort of decided, spring has sprung in my world, looking out of the window as we all are at the moment. But yeah, spring has sprung, so I thought I'd go with a few bit more of a bright colour. We have now got just trying to listen out for it, but the beautiful tweeting bird ambient sounds that they've added to the game, which is really lovely. So yeah, I went with a bit of different colours in this. So decorated this carpet, supposed to look like a floor runner, and then the boards, and then into the bathroom here. So this turned out really nicely as well. Pretty simple, nice and fresh. I kept it consistent with the one that I'd done over here, so I just thought it was be nice to kind of, because that bathroom's very small, so I thought it'd just be nice to kind of have it thematically link. And then it's supposed to be again like a bit like almost like a carpet. You can't really get a carpet that follows the edge of the shower, which is what I would really have loved to have had, but you can't really get one that does that without it looking like it's got to be squares, obviously. So I thought I'd leave that. And then found these really cool like scribble art pieces. If you see, I think that's supposed to be James Dean. I don't know who these two are supposed to be. Answers on a postcard. But yeah, I thought they looked really cool, and they sort of work in here. Don't really know why. I think it's because of the bold colour, like black and white work quite well with that. And then a couple of little splashes of colour, just like randomly added a couple of bits of yellow in there, just some contrasting colours. Double mirrors, double lamps. So I think we're very nearly done with this house. I think we're gonna look at this bedroom. And I think I'm going to continue the theme of some bold colours. Right, so I've picked out these two, pale pink and light biscuit. I think these are going to work. Maybe let's have a little look. See, I think I'm just going to go with one kind of feature colour or feature wall with the pink, and then go with a biscuit. It's sort of fairly complementary to those colours out there because they're pastels still. And as I said, I think in the previous episode, it's kind of always difficult to tell until you've got your lighting in the room what actually the colours look like, because at the moment these look probably a bit dirtier in terms of the sort of warmth is lost when you're in kind of these little shadowy spots. I didn't mean to paint that bit, so we have to get some white as well. So let's get a bit of white. Yeah, so what you tend to get is that the colours are always quite muted if you don't. Let's do this wall white as well. Just see. Oh, it's already white. Okay, yeah, I painted that one, didn't I? So let's get some lighting in here. In fact, we'll get the bed. I did already have a little look at the beds, and I haven't seen this one before, so I'm going to go with this. And I actually really just like the blue and white. That's quite nice as well. Maybe we'll go with no, I like the stripe. Oh, can we not get back to the stripe? Oh, interesting. Okay, so what about a lighter? We'll go with a birch as well. So yeah, so let's put this in. It's actually quite a small room. Actually a reasonably small room for this size of bed, but we definitely need it to have a big double bed because we've only got one bedroom in here in this house. The bedroom isn't a place for toys. Well, there aren't any toys in here, so what are you on about? You're just making a general statement. Thanks. So what we'll do is, quite often just get the lights in. And then I mess around with their position just to get. So I might not end up using these, but we'll just go with that for a second. That didn't make any difference whatsoever. And then what is let's just have a look at these as kind of try try these out as like bedside table kind of dealies. You know, like you get in nice hotels, you get like a lamp next to your bed. But we're going to need more lamp light up this, I would say. Yeah, that's a little bit. I always get a bit frustrated with these. Is they give you like things like this. They give us one that goes one way and then not one that goes the other way. You kind of want there to be a. You see, they both of these kind of angle pieces point in the same direction, and just a bit right. My fastidious brain is like, they don't match. Right, that's good enough for now. Let's get a light switch in. I've used these elegant ones in this house so far, so we'll continue doing that. Okay, so it's getting a little bit warmer. You can see that the colours are starting to get a bit richer. Let's get some bedside tables in. Night. What's night? So on cupboards, night cupboards. The night cupboards. Strange. Let's see what these look like. So I've used these a bunch of times, but they do actually work quite well. See, that's a good case, right? So right and left we've got there. More of that, please, devs. Just the matching variants. Yeah, matching set, but the variant of the same thing. Do I want that? I use that one really. I think it's just the right proportions, though. What wood have I gone with there? Not sure which wood I've gone. I did go with the birch. Right, so we've got birch. That's the wrong side. Yeah, that's the other side. So I've used the right side already. Left side. Yeah, that's about the right sort of proportions for the, because obviously we're going to dominate this room. That looks nice now, actually. Then we need, we need a cupboard, maybe a dressing table, maybe some bigger drawers, that sort of thing. Let's have a look what we've got. So furniture, cupboard. Just use that. So we want we want to stay in a modern style. Yeah, it's boring, that one, isn't it? I think this one's going to be huge, if I remember rightly. Well, it's not too bad. Is there a mirrored cupboard? I don't know if there is, but let's have a little look. That's not really right. It's not really right. So these are all really like sort of traditional. That one, maybe. It's sort of quite a traditional design, and it almost to me doesn't look like a wardrobe. Like it says wardrobe, but it's too short for a wardrobe. And when you get wardrobes with open, like, yeah, that's glass. It's not a mirror. That looks more like a display cabinet. So I'll have to remember that for the future, because that actually looks like it would work really well in a living room or in a dining room or something. So I think maybe. So this has got. What's this look like? Yeah, see, that's transparent glass. Oh, that does say cabinet though. So let's go back to the one we had before. It wasn't that one, was it? It was this puppy. I think that will be alright. I don't want it right by the door. Probably needs to be in the corner. Because I'll just show you the difference actually. If I put it right over by the door here, we get this horrible like through this tunnel. But if I just step it over a wee bit into the corner, as much into the corner as we can get, then it just feels much more open as you come into the room. It's still quite a big old block there, but my focal point is the bed, and I'm not kind of distracted by this. Can I get that any closer to the wall? No, doesn't look like it. It's going to let me go that far. But yeah, this is coming together already. Do we want a rug? Potentially we want a rug. We've got to do something in this window as well. Let's have a little look. What? Doors and windows. So I think I'm going to stick. I think I said this in an episode a little while ago as well, that I tend to go with the blinds. Like always go with the blinds, because I think these blinds just look better than anything that we've got, like window dressing in game. Yeah, so that does just make a difference. We might also put the short, maybe. I think part of the problem I always have with this is that you can't change the pole. And subtle flowers, is that going to be a bit much? Yeah, the pole is really kind of of a particular style. Oh, that's not too bad. I feel like I've got quite bright in here though. My whites always come out too bright. That's all right though. I think we'll go with that. As I said, there's not an enormous amount of space in this room, so I can't do too much more. Let's have a look about if we put in a little something just on the end here, like a little dressing table or something like that. Let's have a look. Don't want one of those. So was that what night was? Night cupboards, furniture, cupboards, night. No. Yeah, see, I could go with something that just. Oh, there we go. Dressers. No, they're not dressers. Oh, they are dressers. Sorry, yes, they are. Cupboards, dressing table. See, but it's such a particular style, isn't it? That I think what we really need is just to have. Well, there's another one, but that again is that sort of elegant style. Is that going to work? See, I don't mind that. It does kind of get in the way though. Let's have a look, see what that looks like with a chair. Chair. So we're gonna have to. It's gonna have to be a small chair. Something sort of fairly delicate. What are these like? Can you get a birch one of those? Birch. Maybe just a white coloured one. Pillow. What got on there? So we've got on the. That might work. Kind of matching in the blue there. Put that underneath. Kind of like that. Now that's kind of cute. I think that's sort of small enough that it doesn't interfere. Yeah. Don't know. I think so. I think I'm alright with that. Right, I made a fairly major change in this. So I found this painting actually, this piece of art, and I really loved it. And it actually perfectly picks up the kind of colours that I've got in here. So I undernayed about it for a while, and ended up making it the full wall size. And you'd have to let me know, guys, what you think, whether it works. It weirdly immediately feels kind of Frenchy in here. I think it's because of the blue and white. I changed the colours back on this actually a little bit. So yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think. Oh, I do have one more thing to show. So I brought you back just kind of halfway through this because I thought you might want to see it. So the thing I talked about earlier in the episode about stacking the paving slabs also lets you do this. So I quite often want to put stuff up on top of the wardrobes, and there is a way of doing that. You could previously do this with the up shelf. So you put the shelf above the wardrobe, and then you remove the shelf, and whatever's on top of the shelf drops. The problem you have with that is that the stuff that because you can only attach it to the wall, you can only put it at either right at the back of the wardrobe, or you have to put lintels in and then put it right at the front. This, I'm hoping, is going to work. So it's just it's a bit of a weird position. So I have stacked. So what I did to do this is I stacked up paving slabs from the ground all the way up to this surface. So yeah, basically just went like that, stacked them all up to this surface, and then when I got up to this kind of height, I then you can, if I just show this really quickly, if you don't know that you can do this. So you can do this thing where you kind of see that you can place, as long as it's got like half of the paving slab overlapping, and that's how I then sort of reached over a bit over the wardrobe. And I think we shall see. I've never actually done this before. I'm doing this with you at the same time. I'm hoping that whatever I put on top of here, I can delete and have fall on top of the wardrobe. So I want to put on top of here, I want a couple of these boxes because these are really nice. Let's go with, doesn't really matter. Let's go with pink, bright pink, just as a contrast. I'm going to put that kind of back there. I need to make sure that it's on top of the wardrobe and not overhanging. So that's slightly overhanging. Oh, interesting. Now pick it up and put it on there. So let's just do that a second. And then I want, there was the old box. I think this old box that's kind of gingham pattern. Where's that gone now? Let's go with this actually. We'll go with this in the wood because I like that. I always think that sort of looks like it conceivably could be like a jewellery box. And then the only other thing is we're going to go with the teddy. Let's stick teddy up at the back there. And then if we remove the paving slab, oh well, I've buggered it up there a little bit, but that is good enough. I think that's good enough. I might move the teddy. So we have had big changes in this episode. We have had the hallway. We have the bathroom. Now we have our kind of French style bedroom. So yeah, very happy with that. I hope you guys like it. Do drop a like or a sub if you haven't already. Really appreciate it, and comment it below if you want to ask me anything. Yeah, so I shall catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy.